Li Shuang, would you like to be my disciple? The immortal looked cold as if covered in frost, and his tone was cold. Behind him a girl with red eyes timidly. She timidly stuck out half of her body to look at him, with rejection in her eyes. Around the immortal stood a circle. Some were strangers, while others are familiar. This is Li Shuang's apprenticeship. Li Shuang is the second disciple accepted by Yan Chun. Yan Chun Immortal Venerable was the most powerful and the highest status, and is now recognized as the first righteous person. It's supposed to. His apprenticeship ceremony should have 9 bells, echoing in all, announcing to the world. The pomp is terrifying, but now, only a few elders of the sword sect are here. Could it be that he is frugal by nature? Dislikes of course not. At least look at the grand ceremony he held for his first disciple, which was so grand that the entire cultivation world was amazed. He knew it wasn't like that. Li Shuang started. The white-bearded elder reminded him gently, and quietly winked at him. Only then did he come to he kowtowed heavily to Yan Chun Immortal. Disciple Li, willing to meet or not meet the master. With this bow, the master-disciple relationship, elders around immediately congratulated him. It sounds like a great joy indeed, but Li Shuang knew clearly, Yan Chun Immortal Venerable was not his eldest disciple was also. As for himself, he was even less happy, because when Immortal Yan Chun took disciple, he made it clear that he would only take one. That person was Su Fuyan, who always hid behind him. Su Fuyan, who silently shed tears. They spent every day together, fell in love, but their master-disciple relationship held them back. They had to restrain. Later Su Fuyan fell in love, and developed a deep. Once she went mad and made a big mistake from then, and started their love story of 10 million words. Don't ask why Li Shuang knows so clearly. After all, she watched it from start to end. A cannon fodder female lead used to pad the plot. Li Shuang was the daughter of a primordial elder of sword sect. The higher the cultivation, those elixir. The two finally had their daughter, so they held and spoiled her like their own eyes. And Li Shuang lived up to their expectations. She was tested with the qualification of mutated ice root, and embarked on the path of cultivation. Unfortunately, Li Shuang's parents went out for an experience, to save people on the way, and finally died in the beast tide. Since then, Chun Shuangfeng lost the leader. Li Shuang became an orphan without parents. He was still young, only 12 years old, but his parents left a lot of savings, which naturally attracted many eyes, in order to prevent such a talented child to be killed in the internal struggles of the sect. Liu Guang, the sect leader, went to persuade the sword master Chun Xi to take her as disciple. The sect leader said it bluntly. He didn't ask the uncle to treat her as his own child. Just let her be your disciple. When Li Shuang reached Golden Core and has the ability to, she would naturally return to Chun. Li Shuang's parents have always been kind, and made many good friends. Many elders in the sect were willing to speak for him. After the sect leader and several elders repeatedly spoke, Yan Chun Immortal finally nodded. So today's ceremony is this humble and overly simple apprenticeship. Li Shuang followed the sect leaders, went forward to offer a cup of tea to Yan Chun. He raised his hand, but he didn't even take a sip. From today on, you will be my disciple. I will teach you with all my heart, guide you to good, and supervise you. If you go astray, I will follow the sect's rules, without mercy. His words were as cold as a blow to the heart. After that, Yan Chun Immortal handed a jade talisman to Li Shuang, and took it, but never dared to look up at his expression. This jade talisman can withstand a full. It's a gift from me to you, he said lightly. Li Shuang held the cold jade talisman tightly, but she knew it clearly. The book says that the gift he gave Su Fuyan at first was a red-level spirit sword. In the cultivation world, spiritual energy is divided. A red-level spirit sword is a rare treasure, but Li Shuang had nothing to be jealous of. After all, he was just a casual disciple. It was already good to have a gift for meeting. Thank you, master. When he said the word master, he caught a glimpse of the heroine next to him. Her body trembled slightly. Li Shuang knew he was a supporting role the night that he was originally a supporting role. That night, he lay in his parents' cave, and was so sad about their sudden death that he couldn't breathe. Who could have known? After he fell asleep in a daze, he saw a glowing book that could light up. On the cover of the book, there was a line of particularly eye-catching words. Fian's immortal. The book tells the story of the heroine, was born in a mortal and accidentally embarked on, and met a cold and indifferent master, the evil and arrogant devil, a gentle and powerful beast, and the arrogant demon emperor. She suffered a lot along the way, and overcame countless, and finally she and her master get together. As for Li Shuang, is just used to add fuel to the male and female leads, to heat up their relationship, to make the male lead realize his feelings faster. In the novel, Li Shuang didn't even know where he stood in the story, but still wanted to take the male lead's favor. He relied on his better talent than he always made trouble for Su Fuyan. He targeted her, and even Dongshou to frame her. Her ending was worse. She died at the hands of the gentle beast god. His pure and pure-eye spirit root was forcibly refined into a pill and taken to make up for Su Fuyan's incomplete water root. Then it fulfilled the favored one of the world, making Su Fuyan have a perfect talent, and became a sought-after genius. After Li Shuang finished reading her whole person was like a ghost, and couldn't come to his senses for a while. He knew clearly that he was truly alive. The 12 years he spent with his parents were not fake at all, but the things written in the book seemed to have eyes and drilled into his mind. Every word and sentence turned into a scene, replayed in his mind over and over. He even felt like he had experienced it himself. The plot in the book, especially the pain of the final sword, which made him almost out of breath. It turned out that from start, he was just used to complete Su Fuyan's spirit, just a stepping stone. When Shuang woke, he was in a daze for a long. He forced himself to calm down, and gradually accepted the fact, and then carefully sorted out his current situation. He must worship Immortal Yan Chun as his master. Now he is only at key. He can't defend the 3rd level, and couldn't even protect what his only by being the disciple of the number 1 righteous. Can he save his life first? But since he already knew what the future holds, Li Shuang would never follow the dead end in the book. He would not envy Su Fuyan and would not target him. As long as he reaches Golden Core, he will leave immediately, the Jiangshu Peak of Immortal Yanchan, and never be involved with them. After making up his mind, Li Shuang packed his luggage and walked alone to the snow-covered Jiangshu Peak. It is the residence of immortal dust, and it will be the place where he will live next. The Jiangshu Peak is snowed all year, but the snow here is not ordinary snow. Even if he used pure power to protect, his hands and feet were still gradually frozen stiff and numb. Su Fuyan played Chun Xianzun after apprenticing, personally took to take him to the Jiangshu Peak, and even used his spiritual power to protect him. But this time, for Li Shuang, I don't know if he forgot or just didn't care at all, but let him climb the mountain alone. Li Shuang couldn't fly with a sword at that time. He endured the cold wind like a knife. He finally reached the snowfall peak. Without a chance to catch his breath, he was stopped by a little boy who came out of nowhere and blocked his way. "You are the new disciple of my master." Li Shuang was stunned, didn't answer him. The child didn't seem to care whether he replied or not, and kept talking non-stop. "I've heard people say that Master took you just because you were poor and just give you a name. The disciple that Master really cares about is only senior sister, is the only one recognized by Master. Stop daydreaming and don't think about taking away Master's favor for Fuyan." Qian, don't talk nonsense. Before Li Shuang spoke, Su Fuyan suddenly rushed over. She pulled the child behind her in a hurry. "Junior sister." Qian just spoke quickly. He didn't mean it. Don't bother with a child like him. Okay. And Qian's father is the peak master of Kangshan Peak. The way he looked at Li Shuang very precisely, as if he regarded Li Shuang as something to eat people. The last sentence, peak master, seemed to be deliberately reminding Li Shuang to be careful. Li Shuang was too lazy to think about his words. When he passed by him with his burden, he said, he gently said, "Senior sister, don't worry. I will never compete with you for favor." After all, the kind of favor that could drive people crazy like Yan Chan. He really didn't want it. 3 years later, the Luguang Sword Sex Sword Contest. The annual competition between Inner and has reached the final stage. On the high arena, 2 girls holding swords were fighting back and they have exchanged dozens and haven't decided the winner. Among them, the girl in the pink dress was obviously about to give up, but she always narrowly avoided the fatal strike. She gritted her teeth and lasted until now. Under the stage, a male disciple wearing a blue and white disciple couldn't help but sigh. Sister Fuyan is so amazing. Only at the 10th level. Can compete with Junior Swan level 12. Fight evenly with her. She is worthy of being a disciple of Yanchan Immortal. Other young disciples also crowded under. Young disciples who were waiting for the 2 to decide. Hearing this, also couldn't help asking, "You said, who will win? Senior Sister Fuyan or Sister Li Shuang wins?" With just these words, the audience immediately became lively, and the discussions broke out. "I think it's probably Sister Fuyan. Didn't she always win with the weak against the strong? I guess it will be the same. I also bet on Fuyan. Sister Li Shuang's cultivation is higher, that's right, but Fuyan's spiritual power is obviously more solid. Didn't she do the same in previous matches? Sister Yu always relies on more spiritual than the mirror to hold on, and finally won. It must be Senior Sister Fuyan. She started learning from Master Fuyan and Immortal Yan Chun taught her for longer. How could she lose? Some people praised Su Fuyan on the stage. There were also people defending Li Shuang. The speaker was a smart and likable female disciple. She held her chin up. "I think Senior Sister Li Shuang will win. Sister Fuyan has won so many times. It's just plain luck. In terms of real strength, how could she beat Senior Sister Li Shuang?" As soon as she said that, the people who thought Su Fuyan would win just now, they recognized her. "Song Jiao Jiao, stop being jealous, okay? It's just that Xinyan beat your senior brother. You start talking nonsense. Sister Fuyan won by her own ability in every match. Where is the luck?" Song Jiao Jiao wanted to refute her on the spot, but before she spoke, was held down by the tall young man next to her. The young man was his senior brother. He was originally the favorite, the top candidate for the Haninge. But in the previous competition, he lost because of insufficient. He was defeated by Su Fuyan. It would be fine if he lost in other places, but it was because of insufficient aura. Song Jiao Jiao felt something was wrong. His senior brother has reached the 12th level, and he is the most diligent disciple in the sect. He can rely on his 3 spiritual roots to cultivate now. It's all through hard work. He never took any shortcuts. But Su Fuyan, on the other hand, when Senior Sister Li Shuang practices, so he was almost invisible. He's only at the 10th level. But he has more spiritual energy than those at level 12. Who would believe if there is no problem at all? Song Jiao Jiao doesn't believe, but she couldn't do anything. Firstly, she couldn't produce evidence that Su Fuyan cheated. He is the disciple of Immortal Dust. How dare she offend him as an ordinary inner disciple? Now, Song Jiao Jiao can only pray hard in her heart. God, let Senior Sister Li Shuang must win this battle to vent her anger for her. I don't know if it's because she prayed too hard. Su Fuyan on the ring was really being suppressed little by little. He was panicked, and his hands were or some other reason. His originally smooth sword move suddenly scattered, and even the circulation of spiritual energy was jerky. Li Shuang seized that moment of gap with a flick of sword and directly flew the opponent's sword out. Su Fuyan just turned around. The cold and bright white long sword like frost and snow was already firmly across his neck. "Sister, you lost," Li Shuang said calmly, and made the result clear. After the elder in charge announced the result publicly, Li Shuang ignored the noise and gazes from the audience. He turned and left the ring. He came to this sword compound. He didn't come to show off. What he wants only the prize of the first place in the key refinement stage. Li Shuang has a rare mutated ice spirit root. But because the ice spirit root is too pure, every full moon night, he has to endure the cold that penetrates his bones. Only the frost flower with the same abute can temporarily relieve the pain a little. The snow on Zufeng can also play a role. He was willing to move there. which was also a reason, but as his cultivation level rose, the effect became less and less useful. Seeing the full moon is coming, this rare frost flower might help him survive the night peacefully. The prize was personally awarded by the sect leader. Besides the frost, Li Shuang also received a symbolic few hundred spirit stones. Su Fuyan, who took the second place, received a foundation establishment pill. The sect leader Jolly said a few encouraging words. He waved everyone to leave. Li Shuang certainly didn't stay. He was just one step away from foundation. As long as he survives this full moon night, he could make a full effort. Thinking of this, he held the Ningxuang flower tighter. He casually sacrificed a flying tool. Flying magic weapon he found. He quickly returned to Jiangsu, but as he was about to return to his cave and settle the Ningxuang flower properly, the immortal lord who never took the initiative to talk to him, the immortal, called him out specifically. The cold man who seemed untouched by the world, looked down at him, but said that you won the first place in the sword competition. He paused for a moment and added lightly, "That frost flower, I'll give you a price." Sister Li Shuang felt her ears buzzing. Almost thought he had heard it wrong. His usually like a cold mountain moon, who never bothers to say a superfluous word. What did he just ask him for? Jiu Weiwei, also known as Yan Chun, seeing that he didn't speak, finally said lightly, "Your senior sister has 5 elements, need 5 element spiritual objects to continue cultivation. The current frosty flower is the most suitable. If you are willing to give, I'll give you the foundation pill. I'll also allow you to enter the Jinba, and you can choose a magic tool." But, Master, Li Shuang was about to finish speaking. "Forget it, Master." Su Fuyan poked her head out from behind Jiu Weiwei. Her eyes were slightly red, but she smiled softly. "Junior sister doesn't seem willing. I don't want it. I'm not capable enough, so I didn't get the prize. Don't embarrass your junior sister. It doesn't matter if I don't practice." Her pretty face was a little coquettish, and when she smiles it seems to be able to hook people's hearts. He wanted to give her the good things immediately. But after hearing that, not only did he not relax, her brows furrowed even more. His gaze was still on Li Shuang, and the coldness was heavier. "If you think these are not enough, you can mention more." The meaning of his words was clear. He must take this frosty flower away. Li Shuang clenched his fists, and then slowly, under Jiu Weiwei's sharp gaze, he thought for a moment. He finally had to hand over the Ningxuang flower. Weiwei didn't reach out, only slightly raised his chin, indicating Su Fuyan to take it. When Su Fuyan took the frost flower away, and smiled back at Li Shuang, "Thank you for your generosity. I will use it well, and I won't let you down, nor will I disappoint your kindness." Li Shuang pursed her lips, didn't answer his words, when Jiu Weiwei seemed to suddenly remember something. When he asked what compensation he wanted, Li Shuang spoke up. 3 months later, Kishin's secret realm. "I hope Master can leave a place for me." The Kishin secret realm is only for foundation. You are only at the 12th level of Qi. Jiu Weiwei frowned slightly, obviously disagreed. Disciple understands. Li Shuang's tone is next month, the disciples of the sect will set off to Kishin. Before that, I will definitely build base. If I can't, I'll pretend I never said this. Jiu Weiwei moved his lips slightly, as if he wanted to say more. But when he met Li Shuang's unwavering eyes, he turned his gaze away for some reason. Finally, he only said, "As you wish. Don't regret it later." After that, Jiu Weiwei didn't say more, and turned to leave. Su Fuyan glanced back at Li Shuang, and quickly chased after him. Li Shuang looked at that figure, disappeared into the blood-colored world. He clenched his teeth. No matter what, he must build his foundation. Since the frost flower is gone, the Thaural ice lotus in Kishin's secret realm, he must get it without fail. Jiu Weiwei is the immortal venerable's cave, is naturally different. Xian followed him into the immortal venerable's. He was hit by the thick and inseparable Sirji, hit by it directly. He couldn't help but admire in his heart. Sure enough, this is a place with a tent. Before he could speak, Jiu Weiwei asked first, "When you competed with Li Shuan today, what swordsmanship did you use?" "I have never taught you, other than the Liu Guang swordsmanship." Liu Guang swordplay is the introductory swordplay of Liu Guang sect. Almost everyone must practice it. But Su Fuyan's talent is too poor, couldn't handle higher-level swordsmen. Jiu Weiwei personally modified the Liu Guang swordplay and taught him, but today he saw clearly the moves Su Fuyan used, even he had never seen. Sun face tightened his face and quibbed Jiu Weiwei's sleeve, whispering, "Master, don't be angry. I just wanted to win this competition, so I went to ask Junior Bro, asking him to find a long-lost swordsmanship for me. I am your apprentice, but I'm so incompetent. But I haven't made much progress. I'm afraid of losing face for you, so I thought to practice more moves to win in the sword competition." Su Fuyan immediately smiled. "Master, I also want to go to the Kishin secret realm." "Nonsense." Jiu Weiwei frowned. "You haven't built your foundation. Kishin's secret realm is very if you go rashly, how many troubles you'll meet. Do you know that clearly?" "Master, but I really want to go." Fu Yan's voice became softer. "I still have so many magic tools given by you. But a Kishin secret realm won't cause any trouble. My junior sister can go. I'm 1 year older than her. Maybe before the secret realm opens, I can also successfully." He refused to give in. "Master, I can't hide behind your life. Master, I have to go out and see the world and have a try. Please, Master." Su Fuyan was very stubborn. After several times, Jiu Weiwei finally gave in. He promised to leave a place for Su Fuyan, but also set a rule. After the secret realm she must follow. The head disciple Mu Zhuan who led the team this time. Jiu Weiwei agreed. Fuyan had no reason to and nodded repeatedly. When he came out of the immortal hole, she quietly clenched the jade pendant, as if whispering to someone, "I hope you didn't lie to me. In Kishin's secret, there is a 1,000-year-old ice lotus that can improve my physique." Li Shuang's danchin was as hot as being burned by fire. The spiritual power washed through his veins. He felt his flesh and skin being torn and healed. The pain came in waves, but the barrier of foundation just refused to loosen. Fian's Jiju pill, the foundation establishment pill, with his current foundation, as long as he swallows, he could almost smoothly enter the foundation, and he doesn't have to suffer. But But he didn't. Li Shuang in the book relied on his identity, smoothly all the way, foundation establishment pills and realm breaking, but the reason for that cultivation would still be fragile. He was easily defeated, and was beaten without a fight. He doesn't want to be like that Li Shuang. He wants to take his destiny back. He finally forced his spiritual. The surroundings seemed to suddenly The next moment, the spiritual energy rushed into his body one after another, filling his dry meridians inch by inch. I don't know how long it was. When Li Shuang opened his eyes, the layer of care in his body had shattered. He finally entered the foundation stage. He didn't care about the filth after washing essence. The filth that was discharged. Li Shuang felt that the spiritual energy in his body was fuller and smoother. He subconsciously clenched his fist. Is this the power of the foundation stage? But before he could be happy, his 5 senses became sharp, and immediately, someone was approaching his cave. Li Shuang cast a dust-removing spell. The dirt on his body was instantly scattered clean. He took out a new robe from his storage bag, which was prepared by his mother for him. From 2 to 3 years old to 20 years old, and accessories, belts, and other odds, almost filling the entire second-level storage bag. Li Shuang quickly glanced at himself, the slightly different self from the past. He raised his hand to lift the ban, and walked out of the cave. Outside the cave, Zhou Hengyan has grown into a boy. He hadn't had time to send a message to... He was startled by his sudden appearance. He felt he had lost face. He wanted to retort at him, but when he looked up and saw that face, somehow, the mocking words were stuck in his throat. What are you doing here? Seeing him just in a daze, Li Shuang had to speak first. Zhou Hengyan was reminded and came to his senses, but in the next, his ears and face turned red all of a sudden. He turned his head away, as if he dared not look. His words were still harsh, but his tone was strangely softer than before. You still ask me? Didn't you ask your uncle for the place? For the Kishin secret realm quota? Now everyone is ready, but you haven't come yet. The sect leader asked me to call you. Li Shuang patted his head. He just remembered the sword fight. He directly retreated after this. Today I finally built my base, and was happy. He didn't even bother to inquire about. He didn't even bother to ask, thank you so much this time. He casually said thanks. And the next moment he flew towards the mountain gate. Before Zhou Hengyan could say thank you, he had already disappeared. He was so angry that he kicked the big stone beside Li Shuang. Kicked twice. He was so perfunctory. No wonder your uncle doesn't like you. Zhou Hengyan was holding his anger. Li Shuang naturally didn't know, but he heard the resentment of other disciples. He heard the complaints clearly, because he just arrived at the gathering place. Before he could speak, a sharp voice came out of the crowd, saying that junior sister Li Shuang is really pretentious, leaving so many of us waiting for her. The one who spoke was a foundation in the cultivation cultivation. It was not wrong for her to call Li Shuang junior sister. Soon someone else followed with sarcasm. She just relies on being the elder's daughter, and a disciple of Yanchan Immortal, although she hasn't built a base, but she still wants to squeeze into Kishin Seek. I heard that Immortal Yanchan did it. He forced another inner disciple who had already squeeze out. Junior sister, do you think so? I'm not very clear about this. This is Su Faiyan's voice? Her voice was soft. Maybe she has been stuck in the key refining stage, to find an opportunity to break through in Kishin secret realm. As Su Fuyan finished speaking, the first one to complain, Nun just rolled her eyes. She can't break through. What does it have to do with others? Do you really think you can be so arrogant just because you're a daughter of elder? Junior sister, you are also a disciple of Yantin, but you didn't make everyone wait so long. The Kishin cultivator comes to grab the chance of, how dare he do that? The blue-robed woman Xiao is hot and speaks directly without thinking. She offends everyone by accident. Fortunately, someone nearby quickly smoothed things over. Jian sis, don't think too much. Junior sister Chunzu just complained casually. You're about to build a foundation. It's very suitable for you to come for experience. Yes. The female cultivator named Chunzu also realized it. She quickly added, I just can't stand those who stuck in the key refining, who still insists on taking the foundation building place. Seeing that he was more and more awkward, Li Shuang was too lazy to continue listening. He simply took a step forward to the sect leader's disciple who led the team, and gave a straight bow. Brother Mu, I am Li Shuang from Zufeng. I'm sorry, I'm late. I was in retreat, and came as soon as I broke. I've wasted everyone's time. The girl with white hair and white clothes, with a calm face like first snow. At first glance, one can't help but doubt if she came out of a painting, if Li Shuang was just a rare beauty before. But now after building base, she has a fairy-like air that is not tainted. She is only 15. She is already attractive. A few years, how beautiful she will be. Most of the people in the team were stunned. Only Mu Zhuan just blinked for a moment, and quickly came to his senses. He had already heard the news from his master. This time Immortal Yanchan put his 2 disciples into the Kishin Secret Realms trial team. One of them is at the 10th level of Key, and the other at level 12. Although Mu Zhuan respected Yan Chun, he thought this arrangement was not right, not to mention fairness to other disciples. But 2 of them are at the 7th level of Key. It's a big problem for them to survive, but the sect leader has made up his. Mu Zhuan couldn't refuse. He could only try his best to protect them. Until today, set off together. Although Su Fuyan is still in Key, but he seems to be about to break through. But he arrived at the gathering early, and his attitude was good. He kept saying he would follow his arrangement, and cause no trouble. Mu Zhuan's impression of him was slightly better, but the other Li Shuang was nowhere to be seen. Mu Zhuan asked Su Fuyan. He could only say he didn't know. Mu Zhuan hates people who are late. She immediately became unhappy with Li, but now seeing the real person, and looked at him, the aura that hadn't completely dissipated, he immediately realized he had already built a base. He wasn't the only one who noticed. The disciples who had already established also noticed it at once. The foundation building aura on Li. The 2 female cultivators who mocked him, their faces suddenly became red. They quietly shrank into the crowd, and stopped talking. Mu Zhuan listened to Li Shuang's didn't say whether she believed. First arranged him into the team. Su Yun has low cult, couldn't tell that Li Shuang had built. She just felt he seemed a little more dazzling than before. When Li Shuang stood still, Su Fuyan deliberately came over and asked, "Master has been in retreat, so the sect leader asked me to tell you. During the time of going out, I gave you many Tuan jades. Why didn't you reply to me with a single one? Is that so?" Li Shuang recalled the situation outside her cave.
I didn't see any sound transmission jade talismans.
He only saw a livid-faced Zhou Heng'an. "It's impossible. I really sent it. You should trust me." Sister Su Fuyan became more anxious, and her eyes turned red. "How could I lie to you? Li Shuang can't coax people, and he can't stand girls crying, seeing his appearance.
So he had to say that maybe he missed it.
Thank you for your reminder." Su Fuyan was left speechless by his words, with tears in her eyes, and didn't know whether to continue crying or not. He wanted to say something more, but Mu Zhuan in front didn't give him a chance, and started to give a brief reminder before departure. "This trip to Kishin's secret realm is very dangerous. Since I, Mu Zhuan, was appointed as the leader, I have to take responsibility for protecting you. I hope on this journey, everyone should follow my arrangement. Don't let your own selfishness delay everyone's journey." Mu Zhuan said this. He stopped and scanned everyone's faces. Then his tone became even more serious. "We from Lugung Sword Sect, we can fight among ourselves. That's our own business. But once we go outside, we must take care of each other. Don't let other sects make fun of us.
If I find someone taking advantage of chaos
and harm his fellow disciples, don't blame me for following the rules and will not forgive." Mu Zhuan is the disciple of sect, and he has established his foundation. He already had some prestige in the inner sect. His words were steady and firm. Li Shuang listened. He felt
he really had a bit of the sect leader's oppression.
He had said it so firmly and sternly. No one dared to ignore it. Everyone answered honestly. Not long after, a nascent elder arrived. He waved his sleeves. A flying boat with the mark of Lugung Sword Sect emerged from the clouds and fog and hovered steadily. This elder of Yuanying, Li Shuang recognized him. His Taoist name is Yan, and he practices new sword. It is said that Elder Yanhua in his golden core, once in a fit of rage, he cut off the main peak of a certain sect. When he became a nascent, no one dared to provoke him. In the cultivation world, there is a saying, "Those who practice 9 out of 10 are crazy." Such a great master can be. Escort him to the secret realm. Li Shuang felt much more at ease, probably because of the new sword. Elder Yanhua's temper has always been a bit odd. His disciples had heard of his name. No one dared to be presumptuous in front of him. Even when they passed by him on the flying boat, they all subconsciously slowed down. Li Shuang was the same, but he was just like the person in front of him, was about to leave after bowing. Elder Yanhua, who had been closing his eyes, suddenly spoke up. "You are from Sangzheng's." Li Shuang was stunned, and then nodded in reply. Sangzheng is his father's name. He thought Elder Yanhua would ask a few more questions, but the Elder Yanhua got the answer, just nodded lightly, and then closed his eyes again. Li Shuang saw that he didn't speak, though she felt a little strange in her heart, but he didn't dare to stay, and turned to walk towards the inside of Africa. He didn't see himself. After turning around, Elder Yanhua slowly opened his eyes again. His gaze fell on his back, and didn't move for a long time. "Do you really think you can save the world? But look at you, but now you can't even protect your own daughter." The flying boat floated on the sea, and flew steadily for a long time. Lugung Sword Sect has a rule that can't leave the sect's rule. Many disciples since they joined, it's the first time. Li Shuang rarely goes out. They wouldn't miss it. They were all assigned rooms, but they refused to stay in the room quietly. Instead, they crowded on the deck to see the sky. But Li Shuang is the opposite. No matter how lively outside, he quietly meditated in his wing room. He took the opportunity to suppress his cultivation. His current skills are not enough. Thinking of the enemies he will
beasts, demons, or demon emperors.
He is not at all relaxed.
Not to mention Su Fian's incomplete water spirit route.
There are not many things in the world, except for the legendary Nuwa territory. The most handy
is his almost pure ice spiritual route.
Now Su Fian has low cultivation. The problem of his spell route hasn't shown, but once he notices something wrong, those who chase after him to please him might not hesitate to target Li Shuang. Li Shuang knew that he was far from them, and didn't want to be brave and confront them, just to keep his life stable, to have some self-protection. But his urgency was seen differently by others, so before he could completely enter the state, the door was knocked on with urgency. Li Shuang originally didn't want to. He hung the Mian Rao sign at the door before meditating, just didn't want to be interrupted, but someone was blind, without even looking, but still knocked on the door urgently. "Junior sister Li Shuang." "Junior sister, are you in there?" Su Fian's voice came from outside the door. It's soft and quite pleasant. "I have an appointment with senior sister to check out the Africa deck. Would you like to join us?" But it was this gentle and soft voice that forced Li Shuang out of her meditation. The inspiration he had just grasped also dissipated. It leaked out of her fingers like water. Because of Sangzheng, Li Shuang was taught to be generous and upright since he was young. He is not the kind of person who retaliates, but he wouldn't easily get angry with others. Even though he knew he was in the book, a character with a tragic ending in the book, his dislike for Jiyu Weiwei and is deeper than that of Su Fuyan. But at this moment, he had to admit, he and Su Fuyan were probably born, just like now. He felt, just by listening to Su Fuyan outside the door, he felt an inexplicable discomfort in his heart. Su Fuyan is still knocking, the female cultivator who came with him, but couldn't help but advise, "Su Fan's sister, forget it. Your sister Li Shuang is probably not interested in joining us." That voice was very similar to sneering Chunzu at the mountain gate. Li Shuang immediately recognized Su Fuyan outside the door, immediately explained in that soft tone, "Sisters, don't my junior sister is just cold-tempered. She didn't mean to miss the appointment." Li Shuang wasn't stupid. She could tell there was a hidden meaning. Over the years, he has suffered a lot from such kind explanations. However, he had long planned to distance himself from them, so he didn't care much about what others thought. But now it seems that, the more he doesn't care, the more he steps back.
Su Fuyan took him for a pushover.
Okay, Fuyan's sister, you don't have to apologize for him. person in the jade pendant has told him, as long as he brings this ice lotus back to refine it, he could smoothly enter the Foundation establishment. He doesn't know what the origin of the jade pendant is, but he knew clearly he could get to where he is today, all thanks to his guidance. His talent is poor. If he relies on himself, he might not even reach Foundation establishment. The hundreds of years of free cultivars, compared to GU in the thousands or tens of thousands of years, are nothing at all. When he grows old and dies, maybe GU will take another disciple. Over time, he won't leave any trace behind. Su Fuyun is not reckoned. He has been tortured enough by Li Shuang. If GU hadn't been called to Li Shuang all the time, he wouldn't know how long he would be jealous and painful. Now, he finally found a way to fix his spiritual root. How could he let it go? Of course, he must hold on. Junheng has a fire root. This ice lotus is almost useless to him. Plus, he has seen a lot since he was young. Although he was shocked by this ice lotus, he didn't have much desire to compete for it. But the other disciples of Lu Guang sect were eager to fight. They want to fight for it. But they also knew that such a rare trap, there must be spirit beasts guarding it, so no one dared to act first. Su Fuyun knew very well, with his cultivation base, let alone grab the ice lotus, it's hard to get close. So he changed his words. He said softly, "A 1,000-year-old ice lotus is rare to see. We finally met it. Just leave like this, it would be a pity. How about this? Let's work together to solve the guardian beast here, and then compete. Whoever wins will get the lotus, so that those who work hard won't get nothing in return. If there's a good opportunity, the one who gets the ice lotus should help. But he can't get a share of the ice lotus." Everyone heard, frowning and then relaxing. Everyone knew that the ice lotus couldn't be shared, but they don't want to work hard for nothing, to help others succeed. But on second thought, Su Fuyun's words are not unreasonable. The ice lotus is right in front of them. Let them leave empty-handed. Who would be willing, even if they couldn't get the ice lotus in the end? If they meet other good things later, at least those who want Binglian can help, and help them a little. Who can say they don't have that luck? Maybe the ice lotus would really fall to them in the end. After thinking it through, everyone nodded their heads one after another. Even Jingheng, who didn't plan to get involved, was persuaded by Su Fuyun to join in. Others thought he wanted to give the ice lotus to Jingheng. And make a good relationship. After all, Jingheng is in late foundation. If they really compete, compared to him, these ordinary, how could they win him? But only Su Fuyun knew that. He just wanted to use Jingheng's hand to get this ice lotus safely into his hands. If you want to grab it, you must pave the way, and a plan must be made. Among the group, only Su Yun has the lowest, and water spirit root has no lethality. So Jingheng simply decided he was assigned the task of picking the ice lotus. After Jingheng lured the spirit beast guarding the cold pool, the others immediately spread out and surrounded him to attack together. They didn't expect to really kill him. As long as they could hold him or force him to retreat, it would be fine. At the beginning, it really followed Su Fuyun's plan. Jingheng was indeed not a false name. Although he is a mage, he can also use a sword. He waved his sword. There was a loud bang in the cold pool, and the water surface trembled. The next moment, the cold air in the pool surged up. A ferocious beast head slowly emerged from the water. Its body is covered with white scales, and each one glowed with cold light. Its slender body swung in the pool, and the water splashed all over the people on the shore. A ferocious head, a snake-like body, gills sharp claws, and the bump on its forehead, and a long beard hanging from its mouth. It was telling everyone that it's a dragon to be. When the huge monster fully revealed itself, Junheng's heart skipped a beat. He regretted coming to participate. Ori spirit beasts are fine, but this thing in front of him is a 7th level ice flood dragon. The bulge on its forehead was terrifyingly full, which is obviously close to dragon, and this ice lotus is probably what it prepares to use to resist the dragon. If they take the ice lotus away, it's like cutting off its way. How could this ice dragon bear this insult? Junheng thought quickly, and quickly figured out the stakes. Before Su Fuyun could act, he shouted in a deep voice to everyone, "This ice flood dragon is loved. We can't fight it at all. Before it gets completely angry, we should stop and retreat." Actually, the moment they saw the ice flood dragon guarding the pool, everyone's heart had already begun to tremble. Not to mention these foundation even if there were, it was impossible to retreat unscathed from a level 7. But they had already said something. It would be embarrassing to back out. No one dared to speak first. Now Junheng, the leader, said to retreat first. They didn't dare to hold on. They immediately changed to defense. Just wanted to leave. Fortunately, they are disciples of major sect. They brought many talisman and magic tools. Plus, Bing Jiao seemed to be worried about her tribulation and didn't want to entangle with them for long. Everyone resisted and retreated. It seemed they were about to leave this frosty place. Just at this moment, a faint and ethereal fragrance penetrated everyone's noses. Jingheng, who was dealing with Bing Jiao, also sensed something wrong. The Bing Jiao seemed to be teasing them before, but suddenly became furious. With murderous intent, he subconsciously glanced at the cold pool, but then he saw a slender figure in white holding the crystal clear ice lotus, and stuffed it into her storage bag. "Didn't I just tell you to leave immediately and stop thinking about the ice lotus?"